Hi there, and welcome back to another BobBlast. Yay, another BobBlast. Hey, this one is all about fun with gesso. Well, you may have recalled that I did one earlier, but this one is all about, let's go further than just putting gesso on the panels, okay? I'm already set up here on my table. You can see, I want to show you everything I've got. I've got the paper that I'm going to be gessoing. I have my gesso brushes. Notice the gesso brushes are big and fat. Don't want to use these beautiful little brushes, okay? That's for the varnishes and washes. So you want to use what I call my manly brushes. I'm going to show you how to put that on, okay? I also have some squeegees. Basically, my squeegees are little pieces of cardboard or foam board. I'm going to show you how to do that. Why do you want to have small pieces of foam board to do your gessoing? Just an option, all right? I also have my gel medium. Explain that in a second or so. I have my gesso. I have what I really like, this textured gesso. Well, it's even thicker. You can do some pretty high peaks, that kind of stuff. I can't wait to show you what I'm going to do with that. All right. Of course, gesso comes in different colors. In fact, Holbein has 22 different colors of gesso. Whoa. And you don't really want to use these kind of chip brushes. You can put it on if you want to, but I save my gesso brushes for here. Buckets of water, just to let you know, so you can save yourself some time. What kind of watercolor paper does Bob use? There it is, Kilimanjaro. Where do you get Kilimanjaro? Cheap Joe's. Go to the catalog. And I use 300-pound Kilimanjaro because it really takes a beating. Sounds like an ad, but just thought I'd let you know what I'm using, okay? We're ready to go. I have some already cut up to show you from my samples. Now I'm ready to start showing you how to have more fun with gesso. So this is pretty basic for most of us, but let me show it to you anyway. So I have my 300-pound watercolor paper. On the back side, I put a pencil mark. So when I cut it up, I'll know which side is gessoed. Trust me, sometimes I just can't tell. All right, so here we go. I have my gesso, really thick gesso. I have a choice. I can trowel it on with this disposable piece of foam board, or I can use this. I'm going to do both just to save some time for everybody. So, put lots on, back and forth. Really push it in. You're coating this. Now that might be hard to see this because it's white on white. But you get the idea. And look how I'm holding the brush too. Let the brush do all the work. Back and forth, really rub it in. The other way of doing this is if you trowel it on with a piece of disposable cardboard or foam board like this. There we go. See how thick it is? Use the thick, heavy stuff. There we go. Look how much faster it is. It's almost as if I were doing a wedding cake. That's my nighttime job. I do wedding cakes. There you go. It has lots of lines. I love the texture. See? Done. And I will do about 4 or 5 of these at one time, and then I throw this thing away. That way I don't have to clean any brushes. Perfect. I happen to like the lines. That's one way of doing this. Let me show you some other things. And so let's have fun with gesso. I'm going to start off with texture. That's the first thing I like to do. And let me show you the different kinds of ways that I do texture. There's many books out there and many workshops out there that teach nothing but texture. They're fantastic. I recommend them because they're a lot of fun. I've basically taken just a few things that really interest me and I've narrowed it down to these. And let's get started. Here we go. One of the things I love to do is put lots and lots of gesso on the paper. There's a little sample paper here. Lots of gesso. And I like that thick gesso, remember? That really thick gesso. And now I'm going to make a print using bubble wrap. That's our friend bubble wrap. Let me show you what I'm going to do. So you can see this. I'm just going to put a little bit of color on top of this bubble wrap. That way you can see it. This is fun to do, different colors too. This is not going to be pretty. And now I'll make the impression. Again, this is just to make texture. That way I don't have to use so much paint. Cool, right? So we have the big 1-inch bubbles, then we have the smaller ones if you want to use those too. Why not? This is just, I know this is not a new idea. I know many of you do this. It's a fun way to get color and also texture of different sizes in the painting with really, really thick gesso. Now let me show you what I'm going to do with tissue paper. And here's another way of getting texture. Here's a painting I'm working on. You may not see it so well, but I've got lots of tissue paper in there. Let's get started on tissue paper. Here again is my watercolor paper. Back side, I still see that mark, so I know that's the non-gesso side, right? All gesso. This time I'm going to use gel medium. Gel medium, it's not gesso, but I treat it the same way. It's acrylic, it dries clear. It looks white, but it dries clear. So again, this is where I use one of those chip brushes. This is strictly a glue, and it will dry clear. It's strictly a glue. So I put lots of it on, lots of it on. Again, we're going for texture. So here we go. Here's some inexpensive tissue. The more wrinkles I have, the better. There's something you don't hear all the time. The more wrinkles, the better. There we go. Now it looks kind of foggy, but it will dry clearer. Crazy, but we'll put some of this gold. More glue. You can't have enough glue. Or gold. There we go. Again, it's more metallic pretty soon. This is when it gets to be fun. I'll do one more little piece up in here, maybe. Yeah, wow. Whoa. Texture. Get down there, there we go. It doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. There we go. So that's another way of getting texture using inexpensive tissue paper. You know, that way you don't have to use so much paint, right? And now let me show you one more where I use the really thick textured gel medium. And so here's another goofy thing I think is fun. This is one of those rubber mats you put in this sink, you know, so your glass doesn't get chipped. All right, I use it as a template. It's flexible. You can see it's all different colors right now. This is what I do. I put it right onto a panel. This is one of those wooden panels. Takes a beating. So you can see I've already started doing a spray can of acrylic paint. I have a texture. Now I'm going to build up a thick pile of this, but you'll still have the pattern. This time I get to use the thick textured gel. So it's the same stuff as the other gel medium, but a really incredibly thick. Look at that. This is where it gets to be cooked. So I trowel it on, see? There we go, just trowel it on. It's almost like filling up an ice tray. There we go, all right? I'm not gonna do the whole thing. I'm gonna lift it off. Ooh, there we have some pretty cool texture. Look at that. Pretty cool. Let me show you one more thing. Stay right there. Water. You can hear the spray with water if you don't want all those peaks. There we go. Softens it a little bit. It's a goofy thing to do. I love to do it. When it dries, it won't crack because I'm using that thick textured gel. Well, that's it for me. I'm Bob Burridge, and I want to thank you so much for sharing these with other friends, and I can't wait to see you on the next BobBlast. And here's my latest announcement. It's all about trade shows. I'm going to be doing 3 of them this year. Can't wait, they're fantastic. But why do trade shows? Well, first of all, they're major exhibits of all the major art materials manufacturers. You know, with fantastic discounts. I know people that bring their trucks just so they can stock up on all the discounts. And they also bring in a lot of instructors like myself, and we do many 3-hour and sometimes 6-hour workshops. And we supply the art materials. How cool is that, right? So you can sign up early. Check out these 3 that I'm about to tell you about. All right, coming right up here on July 23rd, Burlington, Vermont. That's right there. That's the headquarters of Holbein. And I'm going to be there. Many other Holbein artists will be there. We do these fantastic workshops. Check it on my website. Next one after that will be in September 27th. Sponsored by Artisans of Santa Fe. And who doesn't want to go to Santa Fe? You know, you've seen all those wonderful photographs. It really does look like that. So that's another major art expo where fantastic discounts, and you'll get to meet and talk to the manufacturers that actually, the materials that you use. So that's pretty cool for you to meet all these people. Then Art of the Carolinas. Oh, we've been talking about that one all year. That is major. You know, that one is sponsored by Jerry's Artorama. And so that'll be in Raleigh, again, November the 8th. Sharon DiGiulio does a great job at organizing all of us crazy artists and getting us into the workshops we want to get into. That's fantastic. They treat us so well. That's why I do those particular 3 workshops. There are many more out there. They're the ones I can fit into my schedule. I'm so glad you were able to have a chance to take a look at this. Again, I'll see you in Burlington, Vermont, or Santa Fe, New Mexico, or Raleigh, North Carolina.